And why do I see string? Okay, but seriously though, you see the string. You definitely, you 100% you see the string, but you don't see the stick. Okay, let's do this. Alright, welcome back to Magic Isn't Real. Today I'm going to explain to you why I don't like revealing the secret behind magic tricks. And ironically, I'm going to reveal the secret behind a magic trick and I'm going to teach it to you in details today. So let's get to it. Reason number one, it's easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. Alright, so what does this Mark Twain quote means and why did I pick it as my reason number one? Now that you know that this trick is done with this gimmick.
No way!
Don't you feel a little bit like in denial? Don't you feel like, no, that's not how you did it, bro. That's not what I saw. Every time I reveal a simple trick like this, there's always this thing that people feel like they're stupid. And so let me stop that immediately. We are magicians, are expert in deception and stuff. It's okay if you don't catch something simple. You're not supposed to catch something simple because you don't know that something this simple could be this fooling. There's this movie called Now You See Me.
First rule of magic: always be the smartest guy in the room.
Now, this might shock most of you, but that's not the first rule of magic whatsoever. I am the dumbest guy in every room. Magic is not about fooling people. It is not about being the smartest guy in the room. It's about having a set of skills that other people don't have. I mean, this is how the world works, guys. Otherwise, we'll all be mechanics, we'll all be plumbers, we'll all be comedians, entertainers. Otherwise, we'll all be movie directors or like actors. It's amazing to me that magic has this kind of thing that every time I reveal a secret, someone will be like, oh, that's so stupid, I should have seen it coming. No, you shouldn't have. That's the whole point. And you shouldn't feel bad about it if you don't know it. You don't know a lot of things. I don't know a lot of things. That's how it is. We all pick a path in life at some point, and we all pick like one passion where we become really good at it. Anyway, I'm here to prove that you can be fooled by magic, not to show you how you can be fooled by magic. That's my reason number one. Reason number two, respect for the creator and the art form. Some of the stuff that I perform, I did not came up with. Some of the gimmick that I bought, I did not invent it or engineer. There are magicians who that's their job. They make money by creating new magic and selling it to other magicians, other performers, to people who just want to learn, to people who just want to collect them, to people who just like the knowledge. If you're interested and you want to purchase it, you want to learn it, just like I did, I can point you out to the right direction. I don't mind doing that. But I'm not going to reveal to you a trick or a gimmick or a secret that is not mine to reveal in the first place. All right, now, before we go to reason number three, which to me is the most important, yes, I do three like Anyway, before I tell you about reason number three.
Stop it. Get some help.
Before we go on to reason number three, I promised that I was going to teach you a trick. This is my very first tutorial. I'm not really good at it. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so for this trick, you're going to need a foil ball and a stick. Now, the foil ball and the stick should be enough to perform this. But if you really want to be more covered, here's what you should try to also have and do. If you can, you should paint the stick black, as well as wear a black shirt and a black mat on the table or like a piece of cloth that is like black. If there's a little mistake in the movement and the stick goes this way, it's gonna be very difficult for people to see it if it's the same color as my shirt and the table. So it's not a must, but if you really want to perform this live for people, I will highly suggest that you paint the stick black and you wear a black shirt with a black mat on the table. All right, here comes the first part of the performance, which is putting the foil ball on the table. As you can see, I'm keeping the stick parallel to the ground and a little bit hidden behind my arm. But what you really want to do is check where your audience eye line is. Because even if I keep it parallel to the ground, but I move it down here, Someone who's a little bit taller than me would be able to see it. This is why I highly recommend that you performing this on a table and that everybody who's watching you is also sitting on some chairs so they are the same height as you. Now, with the camera, I am in full control. I know exactly where the lens is and I know exactly where to position this without revealing the secret. If your performance for an audience, again, I'm gonna show you how you can do this trick standing, but I highly recommend you do it at the table. It's gonna be much easier. But here's what you wanna do. Besides keeping the stick parallel to the ground at your audience eye line, you also wanna try to hide it behind your arm. This way, the people that are watching over there, they won't be able to see the stick because it's behind your arm. And the people that are looking over there, they will see it like perfectly straight like that. All right, after you put the foil down, remember to leave a little bit of the back end of the stick out. You're gonna use your chest or your abdomen to push up, or actually push down the back of the stick and make the foil float up. Now, when you're doing the whole floating business, there's a few things you have to really watch out for. One is that you don't go too high. Because even though the stick might be black and your shirt might be black, someone can still be able to see it if you go way too high. And second thing, which is the most difficult thing you're gonna have to practice, is that you're not doing this or this with your chest. Now, keep in mind, if you're performing for the camera, you could just snap your finger, have the ball fall down, and just end the trick there, which is what I did. Even though I feel like it's kind of lazy. But if you're performing for people, you really shouldn't. You really should finish the trick by showing that this is just a regular ball and nothing is happening. So let's talk about how to ditch the stick. As soon as the performance is over, what you want to do is grab the ball, show it to people. And while you're showing it to people, detach it from the stick and then push the stick underneath the table, just like this. Transfer the ball from hand to hand and push the stick away. Now, if you think it's too complicated to block it like that, what you can do is put a pillow on the ground. And just like that, while you're transferring the ball from hand to hand, drop the stick on the ground. It will land on the pillow and make no noises. Now, the trickiest part of that moment is to make this a natural movement. Is to make it, I'm just passing it from this hand to this hand. That's it. There's a thing I noticed that you might want to watch out. So what I was doing while I'm doing this movement, I was also rotating the ball to show that there's kind of nothing. Now, what you want to watch out is that if you're not careful, you're going to rotate the ball too much and you're going to reveal that there is a big hole behind it. So what I figure you can do is that in the motion of rotating the ball, you can kind of press on the foil. And while you're pressing on the foil, it will kind of cover that hole. And there you have it. This is how you can perform the floating ball in front of a live audience without any strings. And I know what you're thinking right now. I'm like, there is no way this is going to work. There is no way that people are not going to catch you on. Now you know how it's done. So to you, this might seem obvious, but I can guarantee, you know what? I have performed this trick live without a table, standing. Here's the only footage I have. This was a festival where I was hired as a magician to kind of just go around and perform magic. And I was doing this with a playing card, using this exact technique while standing. Now, this is a very old video and I'm honestly not really proud of it. There's like legit 2 very big mistakes that I'm doing in this. And yeah, before I tell you what they are, I want you to see if you can catch them. So I'm sure that the cleverest of you have caught on the first mistake, which is doing this with your shoulder. Looks awkward and makes it look like you're doing something fishy. But there is also another big mistake that every time I see it, it drives me insane. So if you look very closely, you can see that the light in this video is hitting me sideways, which means that you can see the shadow of the stick on my jacket. Obviously, again, I will not recommend performing this stick and floating standing. Okay, you know what? You want to learn a standing? Fine, let's do a standing.
That's what she said.
Listen, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, no, it's too obvious, bro. It's too obvious. Again, now you know the secret. Obviously, it's obvious for you. Now you know how I'm doing it. But trust me, very few people comment me on the... Actually, I've got the same... I was performing that card thingy. I got the same comment. Someone was like, I can see the string. And that pissed me off so much that I literally just went like, oh, but you don't see the stick? And that guy just died laughing. So let's break down how you can perform this trick standing. All right, here's what you do. You position a stick up in your pocket where nobody can see it. Then when you grab it, you keep it always behind your arm, which means that you're gonna have to rotate your arm a little bit to keep the stick always behind your arm. This is very, very, very important. Now, after you successfully took the foil ball out of your pocket, what you wanna do now is gonna be transfer it to the other hand to make it a bit more convincing. And this move is gonna be super tricky. You're gonna have to practice it a lot. Because what you wanna do is keep the stick always parallel to the ground and always behind your arm. And when you move it from hand to hand, it could help to use your index finger to pivot the stick from arm to arm, as I'm showing right here. Now, after you got it to the other hand, in the motion of putting the ball inside your hands, you want to put the stick under your armpit. So the motion of putting the ball inside your hand is to cover the motion of putting the stick under your armpit. In this motion of closing it in your arm, pretend like this is something, pretend you need the power. You're closing all your body. Maybe you hunch a little bit like this. It's like you're collecting the energy from the universe or whatever. You're hunching all like this, and then slowly just open to show that you're using your energy, and then grab it again. Really quick. There's no need to overdo it like I did. Anyway, now let's get to the trickiest part, which is getting rid of the stick while you're standing.
That's what she said!
When you transfer the ball from one hand to the other, you keep the stick in one hand. Rotate your wrist while at the same time showing the ball with the other hand, and drop down your forearm to hide the stick behind your back. Here's the thing. People don't know what you're doing. And most of the time, they don't know what method are you doing. Like, I'm going to give you an example. When I performed that thing, the floating card, and I've done this exact move. I picked the card, and then with my other hand, I hit the stick. So now some guy saw me do something, like saw me putting this arm down and put something in my pocket, but he didn't see the stick. He just saw that I did something, and it was so funny because he was convinced that it was a magnet. It was like, oh, I saw you put a magnet in your pocket, because he thought I was floating the card with some sort of like magnetism or something. I'm not saying the guy was dumb. What I'm saying is that people don't know what you're doing. They don't know the method most of the time. If you can make the movement of grabbing the ball from one hand to the other very smoothly, people will follow the ball. People are interested in the object that was floating. This is why, if you're performing this live, I think the best way you can do to get rid of the stick and make sure that most people do not see it is to throw the ball to the audience. First of all, whoever you're throwing it to is gonna be focused on trying to catch it. And most people around there are gonna follow it to see if the person catches it, or to see if something else is about to happen, or why the hell am I throwing it? No way! In case you got distracted and you forgot what this video is about, reason number 3. Let's say that this video was about some guy who's saying to people that he has supernatural abilities, and he's doing the floating, the floating ball. And I do everything I did today. So I'll show you exactly how to do it. I'll show you like, oh, you put a stick behind it, you stick it under your armpit, and you make it float. Now, let's say that guy sees my video, right? And then he posts another video where, boom, he basically shows that there's no stick at all, like this. Now, not only I have failed, but this guy can use my video, this video, to further prove that he has this ability. So I'm actually giving him extra tools. If he's running a scam, again, if he's the real deal, then he's the real deal. Every time I replicate a claim of the supernatural, right? Every time someone says, oh, I've looked, this is my demonstration of superpower, and I do the same thing, the exact same thing, it looks exactly the same, but I don't reveal how it's done. It's not just I'm not revealing it to you, I'm also not revealing it to them, which means that they don't know how I'm doing it, which If they are faking it, there's a possibility that the way I'm doing it is the same way they're doing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a game of chicken with like the scam and the frauds. Let's say that you, that guy who hasn't subscribed, let's say that you have done something last week, right? But I don't know. I just know that you have done something. I just don't know what it is, when, where, I don't know it. So what I can do is I can come to you and be like, hey, I know what you did last week. Now you're sweating because you don't know what I know. But if I come to you and I say like, hey, I know what you did last Wednesday at 10:30, and last Wednesday at 10:30 is not when when you did the thing. Now you're like, this guy doesn't know shit. There's 1,000 ways to make a piece of foil float in the air. And I can't reveal them all because I don't know them all. But at the same time, if they don't know what I know, they're sweating. And this is what I want them. I want them to sweat. If you're still here, I just want to leave you with something that I think is very important. Sometimes it's okay if you didn't know it was as simple as a stick. I'm going to show you a little compilation of some of the best reaction I've got recently on some of my latest performances. That's it. You're not going to see any magic trick. I just want to show you the reaction that I got, just to make you understand how it's way better to just focus on making people happy, as opposed to trying to be always the smartest guy in the room. So I have over here 892. So now you know what kind of situation is going to happen. Only one.
And actually,
I can't. Just delay so I can just take it out. Just.
oh God, no man, that's cool.
No ways.
Yeah. Probably not in my life.
You feel the touch now? Where? Alright, well done. You have reached the end of the video. Now, to prove your loyalty to me, I want you to type in the comment section stick. And then if you don't mind, I would like you to subscribe or share this video, hit the like button, give me some suggestion of what you want to see from me. And then at the very end, but only at the very end, when you reach the wall behind you, what you want to do is disappear.